Hello there, welcome to BRUZZ International, the English-speaking show here on BRUZZ. First up today, we're off for some Chinese street food.
Bao, c'est à l'origine chinoise. Il s'agit d'un brioche et on met différentes garnitures dedans. Ça présente un sandwich. On mange les bao au petit déjeuner en général. C'est comme on appelle dim sum, ça. Et aussi, dans notre tradition, on mange les bao, c'est farci dedans. La forme est farcie et fermée. Et moi, je fais un nouveau concept. Je ouvre le bao, on met qu'est-ce qu'on veut dedans et ça présente un petit sandwich. La plupart de nos produits sont faits maison. On a 3 sortes de pain. Et le pain blanc, c'est classique. Et le pain vert, c'est matcha. Et le pain saranza. Le bao chinois, c'est à la base la farine, de l'eau, neveu et du sucre. Et à cuire à la vapeur. Et celui des sandwichs ordinaires, ce sont des pains cuits au four. Le pain au four, c'est en croûte et chez nous, le bao, il n'y a pas de croûte. C'est parce que la cuisson, c'est fait à la vapeur.
Next, in this report, we meet one of the faces behind Yuman Village, a perfect example of the circular economy in action here in Brussels.
Yuman is a concept where we connect entrepreneurs of circular economy and consumer actors around a broad offer of products made from the principle of circular economy. And we try to connect as much as possible people. The difference between linear and circular economy is in linear economy, you extract material, afterwards you produce, and it's going to trash. In circular economy, you try to have a conception phase, because you think at the other phases. You try to lengthen the life of the product, and you try to recycle or to reuse it for a new product. A simple example of a circular product is this mousepad. It's made of leather from sofas, and we give a new life to this leather. So we have around 100 entrepreneurs within Yuman. Yuman is about connecting entrepreneurs of circular economy and consumer actors by a large offer of non-food products made following the principle of circular economy. And we want to change the daily life of people and to reinvent a circular way of living.
Alors, nos produits rentrent dans l'idée de l'économie circulaire parce que nous récupérons essentiellement des matières premières qui sont destinées à la poubelle. Et donc, à partir, par exemple, des textiles, nous créons des nouvelles collections de coussins, de tissus, de serviettes de table, de plaids, de sets de table. Donc, ça rentre totalement dans le principe de l'économie circulaire.
I'm a designer and founder of the brand Yuso. Yuso is a leather brand, and we also produce fashion accessories made in Belgium. Yuso fits in this circular economy because we use leather offcuts or leather leftovers. We buy from leather craftsmen or from other designers, so they are not lost or wasted. So I buy them to make my bags with them. We are against waste. We are against also killing more animals for their skin.
If you want to be a partner of Yuman, we have two criteria. The first criteria is you have to produce following the principle of circular economy, and the second criteria is that you have to do it in respect with people. We decided to start a crowdfunding because we want to open new shops in Belgium to reach a bigger number of entrepreneurs and of persons and to give them the possibility to buy following the principle of circular economy.
Next, in this report we take you to the Comics Arts Museum to an exhibition all about Korean comics.
We're here in the exhibition Manhwa and Webtoon, the Rise of Korean Comics at the Brussels Comics Art Museum. We start with the first press cartoons, even some proto-comics that are actually woodcuts telling legends of Korea. We move on to the first real manhwas that are created in the 20s, in the 30s. We show a manhwa ban, which is a kind of a comic library. And then we have an overview of 20 different artists and also the webtoon zone where we show modern comics that are read on smartphone. Right now we are in what we call a manhwa ban. These are the typical Korean comic libraries that you could find everywhere in the country from about 1960 till 1980, in cities, but also in the remotest villages. Everyone had one, and it was a place where, for really very little money, young people and adults alike could go and read comics as much as they wanted to. So here we are in the webtoon zone. This is the zone where you can learn more about webtoons, about smartphone comics. Korea really has a world premiere in developing this industry, in taking it to an industrial scale. When you go to Korea today, you can see people in public transport scrolling all the time on their smartphones, reading these webtoons. It's become hugely popular. For example, one platform, Naver, they have 6.2 million reads a day on their platform. I think visiting this exhibition is really diving into another culture, into a culture of an Asian giant, a very developed Asian society. So it can be really interesting for anyone interested in other cultures. And also it is really part of what we call the Korean wave. The Korean wave is Korean culture being exported to other countries, like for example in movies, in K-pop, music, in manhwas as well. And this exhibition is really a part of this movement of bringing Korean culture to the world.
And finally, in this report we meet Laura. She tells us all about how we can fight like Luke Skywalker from Star Wars.
I'm part of a lightsaber combat club. So we do weekly classes where we teach and learn lightsaber combat with Ludo sport, which is a sport that was born in Italy. We have different forms of combat, which we learn. Every form is 1 year, and then we have an exam. We have competitions, we have just generally a lot of fun. Yeah, that's why we're here. It's really more about the sport and having fun. That's why it's called Ludo sport. Ludo is from the Latin word fun, game. So it's really about having fun with a special weapon that we don't see anywhere else really. But it is a sport, and it is combat, so we do hit each other. The goal in combat is to get points, but it's never to hurt each other, and it's a core value in our sport to really make sure that we can have fun practicing a sport that is combat, but there's absolutely no violence in it. We're not trying to be a Star Wars fan club, and for legal reasons we are not connected to Star Wars anyway. It's just that the masters like the idea of that weapon, which behaves in a way no other weapon behaves, and they thought it would be fun to try and use that weapon. There's the light, there's the sound, and it is, of course, it will always be a reminder of Star Wars, but we're not actually Star Wars fans that just practice together because that's fun. We practice together because we like that sport. I was born in Anderlecht, and I've always lived there except for the few months where I did live in London, but I do like Brussels more. With the world we live in today, with how easy it is to travel, it makes sense for me that anywhere really is becoming more international. I think like any other big city culture, it starts as something and then it's built upon by all the other cultures that are being brought there. But it doesn't change the city in a bad way, it just brings stuff to it, but Brussels will always remain Brussels. It evolves because that's, the world evolves. So I feel like it's really nice to live in Brussels, and yeah, I don't see myself living anywhere else, really.
Well, that's it for this edition of BRUZZ International. Take care, stay safe, and stay warm.